Hello everybody, my name is Khaled Siddiqui, and in this video I'm going to review and give you a brief tutorial on how to use Sony's new FDR-AX33 camcorder. And this is a 4K camcorder with all kinds of goodies and all kinds of features. It has its drawbacks and benefits, which I'm going to go through one by one. So let's get started. Okay, so one of the good things about this camera is that it has a very high resolution sensor with 20.6 megapixels, and the second thing is it has 29.8 millimeter wide angle lens and 15x 4K Ultra HD zoom, 20x high definition zoom with regular 1080p. Now the reason why this is higher is because it's using portion of the sensor to zoom in. So basically it's not doing it's not a digital zoom. Basically what it is, let me explain. So let's say this is the sensor and this is a 4K sensor. So when they want when you go up to 15x zoom with the 1080p, it becomes higher because it's only using the center of that sensor, which is portion of the image. So it's not the whole image. That's why it goes higher zoom. This can record up to 120 frames per second, but there's certain limitations which I'm going to explain. And it has a manual ring on the lens that you can program to control. This is the manual ring right here, which you can program to control different functionalities, and it's up to you what you want to control with that, whether you want to control focus, whether you want to control zoom, or what you want to control with that manual ring. The battery supplied is a smaller battery. It's a tiny battery like this one, but you could buy the optional battery as it's indicated. So the difference between a small battery and the long battery is more hours. You get twice as much usage with an extended battery than you could with a normal one. Now even this will have benefits and disadvantages, which I'm going to explain later. So these are the top things. Oh yeah, by the way, it's Wi-Fi, and you could do live streaming, and it has a very good sharp image quality. You can buy optional microphones that sits on the top, and basically, yeah, this one I bought as an open box from Best Buy, so it's like as is because it was an open box, but you could get these for, I believe, around $700-800 from regular stores. Okay, so let's get into the camera and explain what it does. So the camera is basically a very simple camera, not too complicated. It doesn't have too many buttons all around it like professional cameras would. So right here you have an opening, which it has a multi-purpose connection, which is a USB, micro USB. You have a headset or headphone, and you have a plug-in microphone input. Okay, so that's that. And then right here you have a 5.1 surround mic, which captures very good sound quality. And right here you have a shoe for an additional microphone or any other device that you would like to add. So you have that available. This is your zoom. This is your photo. You can take photos, still photos, up to 60 at 60 quality at 4K. But if you jump to 100, it will not let you take photos while shooting. Okay, and so yeah, like I said, 20.6 megapixel. And now let's talk about the buttons inside. Right here in the inside, let me zoom in. We have a voice recognition we have a play, we have a night shot, and we have power. Here we have the memory card slot. It takes micro SD. No, regular SD, I'm sorry. It takes regular SD card and Sony memory stick, both. Here is where the HDMI port is. Now, this is what I don't like about this camera. Instead of putting a standard HDMI port, they put a micro USB to HDMI type of a thing setup. So the cable comes with it. Let me show you the cable. Let me zoom out to show you the cable. So they gave you this cable. That one end of this cable is one is micro USB, the other end is HDMI. This is very flimsy, very risky. It might break, and also micro USB ports are very fragile. So this is not a reliable plug like an HDMI would be. An HDMI port would be really reliable. So another disadvantage is that the HDMI out port does not put out 4K. It gives you 1080p regular high definition output. Okay, I'm going to show you the picture quality of the output and all that. So the battery slides in right here. So if you put a regular battery, then you could use the flip open screen like that. You could use that to do your filming, or you could use this by snapping this open like that. Now the problem is that if you put an extended battery, remember I said there's a problem with an extended battery, you're not able to see through here because the extended battery will be blocking your eyes. So although they did do a slight fix for that, which is changing the angle of the viewfinder a little higher, so your battery would be extending up. Let me put the battery, show you. So the battery is sticking out, and you can watch through the viewfinder from up top. But if you put it down, then your eyes will not reach it. This is a problem that I noticed on this. So that makes the smaller battery more usable or friendly if you're going to be using the viewfinder. Now, why would you use the viewfinder? Yes, you will need to use the viewfinder in the situations where the brightness is too much outside and you cannot see in here. And also you will need to use the viewfinder if you have to wear glasses, because with the viewfinder you could adjust the focus to your eyes, so you don't have to wear glasses. For example, if you have to wear reading glasses, you could adjust this, turn it around, and you will see in focus the image without the need of to wear your glasses. Now this is a USB port that you can use for charging or for connecting it to a PC. You could also connect it through PC from here. So those are the two different things. Now you could also charge it from here. This is the actual charging port. The AC adapter comes with it, and this is the type of plug that is with the AC adapter, and it plugs in right. Let's see, where does it plug in? Like this. Plugs in like that. This is much better reliable charging port than that of a USB or micro USB or mini USB. Okay, so that's that. And you have a mount here and a mount direction locker, so the camera doesn't move this way. And this is the manual adjustment of the different functionalities on the ring. And let's open and turn it on so we could discuss what it can do. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom in so you can see all the bells and whistles this puppy has to offer. So what I'm going to do now, here's one of the issues with this camera, that it doesn't have an independent lens cover. So the lens cover is, when you close it, the lens cover kicks in. When you open it, it kicks out. So you can't have this open and the lens keep the lens protected. That's one of the issues that I find not very good. All right, so let's see. Okay, so the screen is a touch screen, and you have all the controls on the screen, such as wide, telephoto, and record. So basically you could zoom in, zoom out, and record and stop recording right here from the remote control. And as you can see, it has a sound level meter on the microphone, and currently it's selected as 2-channel mic, but you can add additional channel mics, separate mic, independent mic, or surround sound mic. This is the battery level right there, and you see limited number of information on the screen, but if you tap the screen, you get more information. For example, now you see you have 8 hours on that memory card, and the mode is movie mode, and you have 1 hour and 36 minutes on the battery, and the setting is set to 4K, and basically that's what it is. And this is intelligent auto is off. You could turn it on, and now it's intelligent auto. Everything is all automatic right now. So now let's go to the menu and see what's going on here. In shooting mode, you have 2 settings. You could choose movie mode, like to capture videos or full motion video, and you have photo mode, where you can capture still shots or images. With each mode, it tells you the resolution, the amount of memory each picture will take, and how many shots are left on your memory card. Okay, the second setting is camera and mic setting. Here you have every setting for the camera and the microphone. The white balance is something obvious. You know, you could do automatic, or you could do it yourself with like sunny day, or you could say like incandescent indoor light, or you could say one push, where you could set the white balance based on the image. So I like the automatic white balance because it does a great job when you choose automatic white balance. Okay, second, oh, by the way, when I went to the white balance, and in order to go back, normally there is an arrow like return, but in this case you have to hit cross, and then you get to that the previous menu. Okay, so the white balance is auto. The spot, meter, focus, and all that, you could do that. For example, what this is, for example, if I don't put automatic, I could choose where I want it to be, like focus here, focus there, wherever I want it to be focused. Let's say I have an image of a person in the background. I want to keep the person in focus, background out, so I can click on the person. Or you could go to manual focus right here, which means you could choose yourself where the focus wants to be. So I like the auto. Let me hold on a second. One second. Okay, so the reason it wasn't letting me do that is because it was I put this battery in front of the screen so the screen doesn't capture my keyboard, and that's the reason it was flickering, because when you do that, it's trying to focus and there's nothing to focus on. But when I remove the battery, now it's focusing. So that's why it wasn't doing that. So if I remove that, there you go, it's focused, and now you could choose automatic again. Alright, so I like the automatic, basically, that's what I'm saying. The white balance, I like it to be automatic, and the focusing, I want it to be auto as well. Okay, now let's go and see spot meter. Sets the brightness to the touched area. So basically, if one object is too bright, the other is too dark, and you want to cherry pick which one you want, that you could do that. Currently set to automatic, so it will choose for you what brightness level. So if you click manual, you could choose an area. Let's say I want the brightness to be adjusted to that keyboard, and that's how it does. I like it automatic, So I'm gonna put automatic. Okay, now we go to, so for everything we kept it automatic. Spot meter and spot focus, same thing. That's focusing, and metering is meaning measuring the distance. Okay, so now microphone, let's see where camera setting, let's go down. Exposure is automatic. You could change it if you want to. If you're in a darker area, you have to increase the exposure. If you're in too bright of an area, decrease the exposure level. I like the automatic, but you could change it to manual and change the exposure. Let me show you as an example. If you go to manual, now you could make it dark or make it bright, like that. But I like the automatic, so that's what I would like to keep it. So now I click OK, and I go there again. Okay, now this is the focus. I always recommend to do autofocus, but if you want to do manual focus, that's where you do your manual focus. Okay, now this, let's see. Okay, so the IRIS is the same as aperture setting. The aperture setting in like a DSLR camera, where you basically making the front of the lens, the hole smaller and bigger, like that. Let me show you in a lens here. I have a lens here. So this is a lens. I don't know if you can see. Here, let me put something white on the other side so you could see. Let's see here. I'm gonna put something white. So you see currently the aperture is all open, right? So that's how it's small, it goes smaller and bigger, like that. So that is this setting right here, which we can adjust. So if you, currently it's automatic, which I recommend, but if you want to change it, so currently it's f1.8, you can change it to f2. And the higher you go, the darker the image becomes. So let's go there. The image is really dark now. So automatic is the way to go on that, I believe. Unless you're a professional and you know what you're doing, then you could change it to a non-automatic and manually adjust that. If you want to get depth of field, you want that to be smaller. For example, if you're taking a picture of an item, small micro photography or smaller item, and you want this area to be in focus and also this area to be in focus, so you have a longer depth of field, then you want the aperture level to be the hole to be smaller, meaning the aperture number to be higher, like 11 or higher, 8, 11 or higher. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this little battery in front of the lens so I can make the screen dark so you can see what's going on. Okay, so shutter speed, this is a no-brainer. The name says what it is. So currently it's auto, but you can change the shutter speed. Now you want the shutter speed to be higher if you're taking a picture of a fast-moving object like a football or a moving car. Anything that's moving faster, or animal or a bird or whatever, if it's moving faster and you want to capture it, you want to have higher speed shutter so that the picture doesn't come blurry. So leave that back to automatic, and let's see what else we have. Shutter speed. Okay, so the AGC limit. The AGC limit is automatic gain control limit. So basically it controls how much intake light can come to the camera, and it's for darker shooting. It's good to leave it at the default settings, but you could change it to different types of settings if you want to. This is again for the pros, but at least you have AGC limit in this camera. Okay. AE shift. AE shift is a very interesting setting, because when you increase the speed of the shutter, you have to also increase the decrease the size of the aperture, meaning making the hole bigger to get more light. And what this does is it shifts between them. For example, you could if you change one of it, it will change the other one accordingly, so that you could still get sufficient light to shoot. So basically, if it's on, if it's on, now you could shift it to the right or to the left, in the plus or negative, to do that, to get a perfect image when you're recording. This is again for pros. Average person, they don't have to deal with that AE shift. Okay, white balance shift, same thing. You could shift the white balance based on the settings. Now low lax, I like this because this will allow you to record in very dark situations. Currently it's off, but if you turn it on, if you turn the intelligent, let me show you the intelligent, this one. If you turn the intelligent on, then it will automatically adjust the low light settings. See, it says low light. So that's why I like the automatic, because it does a lot of settings. It gives you less headache to adjust the rest. Okay. Scene selection, you could do a scene selection just like other cameras. You could choose automatic as it is right now, but you could choose like moonlight, cloudy day, sunny, landscape, and you have portrait, and all those scene selections like regular cameras. And then you have flash. This camera doesn't have a flash right now attached to it, but you could if you wanted to add one. Okay, now underneath that is our microphone settings. With microphone settings, let's see, why don't we, okay, the microphone setting is not working because we are in camera mode. Let's go to the movie mode and go back and see our microphone settings. So there is our microphone setting. So my voice cancelling is a very great feature. A lot of people, when they are making a documentary or something, they are holding the camera and talking. So what happens, that their voice is so loud that it kind of overrides the natural ambient sound in the area where they're shooting. And what this does is it cancels it out, or reduces the volume of the video maker or filmmaker's voice. So it's good to leave that on, unless you want your documentary to be just you speaking. So that's what that is. Okay. A built-in zoom mic, you could turn it on and off. This is good for distance microphone pickup. So if you have an object in a distance, it will pick it up. The sound will be picked up much better. Wind, automatic wind filter. Many times when you go to outdoors, you get the wind noise in your microphone, and this is the fix for that. It filters it out. And automatic audio record level. You could change the audio record level, or you could leave it to automatic. I like automatic, but if you wanted to change it, you could change it. See, currently I have that, but if you go to manual, then you could change it, make it lower or higher. Okay, so that's that. And I guess I covered everything in these menus. Oh yeah, you could customize the buttons. Like you could add buttons if you wanted to in the front, the front screen. But right now it's set to auto. Like the 4K icon is there. The spot meter icon is there. The spot focus icon is there. All these icons are there. But you could you could hide certain icons, or you could leave it permanently there, or you could leave it auto. For example, you could go like this. You could leave it automatic, like that. and its location on the screen. Okay, and let's see my buttons, we covered that. Okay, zebra, you know, when the white is overexposed, you get too much white, like then you get the zebra lines. Every professional videographer knows that. It's nothing that you don't know. This existed in cameras that were 10 years old, so this is nothing new. And currently the zebra effect is off. You could turn it on if you wanted to, and it tells you at what grade zebra effect you want, what percentage of excessive white you want the zebra effect to appear. And this one is peaking. Let's see, peaking. You could do peaking white with white, red, and yellow. 3 colors you could do. Let's play the contour of the focused, red or yellow. I think white would be good, but I leave it at default. White would make more sense. Okay, let's see, what else do we have here? Auto level display. If you click this, if you leave it on, you get this message. Let me close it and show you. You get this little thing, the little display. If you turn it off, you don't get the display. I rather get the display so I could see how much sound level I'm getting, and if I'm getting too much sound, if I'm talking too loud, or if the noise level is too high. So that's good to have. So that was that. Okay, so all this explanation just covered this, and now we will go to the next setting, which is image size. Now the recording mode is currently at 60 megabits per second. If I choose 100, I could. It will take up much more memory, and it requires a special type of memory card. This wouldn't work. This is a very expensive memory card, but it doesn't qualify to record at 100 megabits per second. Even though it says here 100 megabits per second, it still doesn't. But for that, you need this kind of memory card. Let me show you this. This is like Extreme Pro with 170 megabits per second. So this is what you need for recording on 100 megabits per second. So let me put this memory card, the cheaper one. Now when I put the cheaper one, watch when I click here what happens. Cannot record still images when set to 4K such and such. Okay, and then when I click OK, I get another message. Please cannot record. Please use. Hold on, let me get that again so you could see. Okay. So you have to use this kind of, that message didn't come again, telling you what kind of. Let's see if I press record what happens. There you go. Cannot record. Please use UHD-IU3, which this is. So I'm gonna remove this. Remove this one, and put the more expensive one, which is 170 megabytes per second. And now I can record at 100. It's recording now at 100 megabits per second. Better image quality, obviously, with 100 megabits per second. But I rather put it at 60 megabits per second because you don't want to create a super large file size. Doing so will make your editing computer go crazy to have to deal with such a large file size. 4K editing already is a substantial amount of pressure on your editor, so that's why I don't recommend that one. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. Frame rate 30 frames per second and 24. You could choose 30 is a good one. So dual video record, you can record a normal size video and then a smaller size video that you can email or share with friends with lower quality if you want to. The file format, you could pick 4K or HD high definition, or HD super high definition. This is currently set at 4K. And let's see, image size currently, this is for still shots. That's the current size, but you could change that to too small to 2.1 meg. Currently it's at 10.3 megabytes. Okay, let's see what else we have here. That's about it on this setting. Okay, so that was the image quality setting. Wireless, you could connect it. You could connect this camera with a smartphone and control the camera via smartphone if you download their app. But to do that, you have to connect this, connect your smartphone to the Wi-Fi hotspot generated by this camera. And when you click this, it gives you Wi-Fi hotspot SSID and password and device name, which you need to basically choose this wireless network in your smartphone, and then put that password in your smartphone, and device name is that. So that's what you need to do if you want to control with a smartphone. Okay. And then multi-camera control, you could do Wi-Fi standby, and you could choose multi-camera control. Now there is no other camera here for me to connect, so I can't do that. So that is that. Now playback function. With a playback function, you could play your scenes just like any other camera. You could go to the date, you could go to the scenes, play it back and forth, and so on. And edit or copy, you have a very not a very advanced, but a little, I should say, generic edit and copy thing. You can delete, you can protect, you can copy, you could direct a copy, share, and all the good stuff. And this is the setup. The setup is like initial setup, I should say, where media info format, you can format your floppy, format your flash drive, repair an image, file numbering if you wanted series, always choose series, so this way if you put it in your computer, file names will not create a conflict. Okay. Date code is off, but you could turn it on and will leave a date code on each image. Volume up and down, you could change the volume. Motion interval adjust. So you have all these download music, a lot of features. And then we have TV type 16:9 or 4.3. 4.3 is for the older TVs. So this is even compatible with 4.3 TVs. HDMI resolution is automatic, but you could change it for between 790 and 1080, 720, 1080p, and or automatic. So currently it's set to automatic. Okay. You can control from HDMI, meaning if you have a smart device with HDMI, with a touch screen or other software that controls the camera through the HDMI, you could do that with this. USB connection settings, and USB connection setting, and USB LUN settings, which you could do. Let me see what LUN is. 1 second. Okay, I just looked it up. The USB LUN is to connect a old RCA, RCA yellow, red, and white cable through the USB connection and hook it to the older computers. I don't think anybody would use that. So that's what that is. So monitor brightness, beep on. You as I'm pressing the buttons, you could hear the beep. You could turn it off. And then monitor brightness is here. Record lamp on or off if you want complete privacy and you don't want, let's say you're shooting in wildlife, taking picture of wild animals, you don't want them to see your location with a little light, you could leave that off. Language settings, calibration of the touchscreen, battery information, power saver. Initialize is the original setup as far as your name, your your location, your clock settings, time settings, and all that. That's initial setup. Demo mode is off, but if you turn it on, it's for selling. If you're a seller, you want to put this on a retail shelf for sale, you put the demo mode. And this is the version update to get the firmware updated. Date and time, area setting. There you go. So that's what that is. That covered everything. And this camera. I'm sorry it took so long, but this is quite a camera. So, you know, when a camera with such high number of settings, making a like tutorial video or information or review video will take forever. So the image, now I'm going to show you the image quality via USB cable. So this is something I want to show you, because this I couldn't have done this with without connecting the camera. So what I'm going to do, let me pull this up. Okay. So what I'm going to do is connect it to a mixer and show that to you. So let's hit this mixer. And connect. So what I'm going to do is put this in USB 2. USB 2. And I'm going to connect it to the output of the camera. Oh, there is the output. Where I was opening the memory compartment. Okay, so now let's go to camera mode. Why is it going to playback? I don't want playback. There you go. So now let's see the image quality via USB. To do that, what I have to do is I'm gonna have to switch to this. So now we have this puppy. So this is the image quality. And let's look at my other mixer. This is the, whoa, for this I'm gonna make another review. Oh boy, is this something you need to know about. It's a Roland VR H4 HD. Anyways, so let's see the quality. As you can see, the zoom, it's pretty decent image quality, but when you're too close you cannot zoom too much because it will go out of focus. But it is, let me video myself and you could see my image. So my image, as you can see, I'm gonna compare this with a regular Sony. So let me zoom out a little bit. Oops. Oh, you know something? I realized I don't have a clean HDMI output. I don't like that. See, let me see if I can make this HDMI output clean. This is useless for, you know, recording live in studios and whatnot. Let's see. Okay, this is a regular HD, and this is this guy. All right, regular HD, this guy, regular HD. When I say regular HD, I mean this camera, so you know which one it is. This is a Sony camera. That's also a good camera, I think, and I don't see any difference, to be honest. But keep in mind that the output is not 4K. The output from the HDMI port is not 4K. It's 1080p. So the only thing I didn't like is not being able to get a clean HDMI output. I can't believe they did this. Let's see. Okay, so I went online and did the research how to get a clean HDMI output, and they're saying that you have to turn off, go to settings, and turn off HDMI control. So let's do that. Okay. Okay, so this should turn off. And there you go. So now we have a clean HDMI output by turning off the now you notice something. Do you see the snowy thing in this curtain in the back? You see the snowy effect? That's what I don't like with this camera. I don't get that with my cheap camera. I mean the Sony. See the difference? You get pure dark, no snowy effect. So I don't know. I don't really. I'm not too impressed with this, to be honest. Okay. Anyways, so it's an okay camera. Now this is not a very high-end camera, so it's under $1,000, actually under $800. So you basically get what you pay. You know, Canons are Canons. Nothing comes close to a Canon. So the Sony is okay, but it's, you know, the Canon that I showed you earlier, which I'm using, is, I think is way better, and that's the one I'm using here. That I was recording the camera. See, let me show you. This is also a Canon G20. I'm more impressed with these, honestly, even though it's not a 4K camera. Okay, all right, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.